All right, guys, this is Miss Butel. I am here to finish up the work on this page, and this is starting with number 12. And this person ran an experiment where she varied how much sleep she got before a big test to see how it would affect her scores. The scatter plot shows the hours of sleep she got and the score on the test that she or he took. It looks like we changed our mind between who this person was. Anyway, um, so these scores are in scores of tens. So this means a 10, this would mean a 15. So that 1 stands for 10, that stands for 15, 20, 30. The score on the test in tens. And you can see the highest score she received is an 8. All right, so write an equation for the line of best fit. Well, that part's pretty nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my calculator, and I want you to see that I have already entered all of this in data. This is all the data, and I have to switch over lines and finish it over here. And the biggest thing to remember is to go second data. This is not one variable stats, it's 2 variable stats. So I'm going to hit number 2. What comes up, look right here, you can see an X and a Y. If you don't see that, you messed up and you hit the wrong thing. Go back and start over. So it's L1, L2 for the X and the Y variables. Now enter. And then I have to scroll down to find out what my slope and my y-intercept are. Now notice how far I had to go. I am way down here. Went 1 through 9 and started over at ABC, and of course it just started over again. So here I go again. I apparently hit something I didn't mean to. D, E, F. There's your A, the B, and the R. So the A is 0.696. Now this says, let me move this a little bit. It doesn't say how to write it. I was looking for that to take it to the nearest tenth. I'm going to go to the nearest tenth. This would give me 0.70. It was 0.696, so that would round up to 0.7. So the A is 0.7x plus, okay, I need that again because I need to see what the B was. B is 1.1, 1.1, and R, that's pretty important as well. R is 0.95. I'm going to include 0.95. Now the fact that this R is positive goes back to the fact that the slope here is also positive. Now slope is a lot of things, all right? It's your rise over run. It is the average rate of change. So slope and average rate of change are this one and the same. And we're going to be talking about average rate of change later anyway. What test score would she get if she slept 8 hours according to your line of best fit? So in this one, notice 8 hours. This is the hours. That is your X value. So we're going to fill in. We're going to say Y equals 0.7 times 8 plus 1.1. Now, when you put this in your calculator, you get 5.6 plus 1.1, 6.7. So, by the way, what this actually means is a 67 for a test grade with 8 hours of sleep. Now, these numbers do not have to be exact. This is just an idea of the numbers, all right? So, moving on down the page, interpret this slope. Now, I am going to interpret the slope in the way that this question is asking, but this is asking in a little unusual kind of way. It says, as blank increased by one blank, the blank increased or decreased by what? Okay, so if we're going to look at our line of best fit, which is somewhere starting at 1.1, our line of best fit is something along this line, okay? So it's saying I know the way this is, it's been unusual, but if we have to increase by 1, this is our slope, and it doesn't increase by 1, it increases by 7/10 per 1 hour of sleep. So look at this. This is the score, and this is the hours. So this is score over hours. Well, I can't go a score of up 1. So this is as hours are increased by 1, or time of sleep, sorry. Time of sleep increased by 1 hour. The score increased, not decreased, by 0.7 or 7 points. If you interpret it, it truly means 7 points because that's moving it over one place. Wow, that looks like it increased 70 points. It's by 10, so it only moves it over 1, it increases by 7 points. That is right. I'm crazy. All right, Miss Butel's interpretation. I like to think a slope is rise over run. So instead of saying as the hours increase by 1, what is this piece doing? I like to say it just like I would miles per hour. If we have hours on the bottom here and this is miles that we've gone, I talk about miles per hours, not hours per mile. And so I like to interpret in the way of rise over run. So for me, I would say as the score on the test increased 7 points, the number of hours increased by 1. So this would be like 7 points per hour slept. So the test, the score, I should say, the score on the test. So the score increased by 7 points per hour slept. Okay? And that would make more sense to me. So this is a bit awkward the way it's written, so I did want to explain that. Interpret the y-intercept in context of this problem. The y-intercept, according to this problem, is 1.1. So if no hours were slept, if no hours, if you slept for no hours were slept, then, then the score would be an 11 or 1.1 if you used it in the terms it was given. Okay, using the line of best fit, predict the score after 0 hours. Okay, well, we did predict it and it was 1.1. So I'm going to go back and do y equals 0.7 times 0 plus 1.1 equals 1.1, which would be the score, because it's talking y equals this score, or an 11. All right, using the line of best fit, what is Eurydia's test score if she slept 7.5 hours? Well, that's where you're going to say y equals 0.7 times 7.5 plus 1.1. Now, I've got to grab my calculator because I don't want to do this math in my head. Those of you that have me understand that. So 0.7 times 7.5 plus 1.1 enter. let me double check my 0.7 times 7.5 plus 1.1. Yeah, that's a 63.5. Or a 63.5 on the test. Okay, there you go. And we're done. Guys, good luck with this test. I hope this was helpful.